This is Administration and Public Works, as you all know, and the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of our regular meeting, August 15. I'm sitting in for Alderman Braithwaite, who will be here later. His mother is extremely ill, and he brought her home from the hospital, which is the good news. So, first item is approval of the minutes of our meeting of August 15. You have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Any changes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's been suggested, since we have a large number of people who wish to speak, if anybody objects, should we have our speakers first before we get into our meeting, okay? Alderman Holmes, Alderman Miller agrees. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alderman Nguyen, okay with you? All right, so we're going to do that. It appears most of our speakers are having to do with the benchmark ordinance. Let me just look through here. I think all of them. One, oh, with Harley Clark. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. I'll call 3 or 4 names, and if you'll line up so that we can move more quickly. First person is Patrick Hughes, Corey Lichtenberger, and Rich Schur. Good evening.
Good evening. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm here in strong support of the Energy Benchmarking and Transparency Ordinance 33016. My name is Patrick Hughes. I'm the Senior Director of Government Relations at the National Electrical Manufacturers Association. We are a trade association that represents 400 electrical manufacturers, including more than 400,000 American workers at more than 7,000 facilities, and with domestic production exceeding $117 billion a year. Our members include companies that employ over 1,000 people who work in and around Evanston, including companies like Schneider Electric, Philips Lighting, Juno Lighting, Siemens, S&C Electric, 2D2C, Mitsubishi, Wheatland Tube, and more. These are the manufacturers that make the products that reduce energy waste in buildings, including energy-efficient lighting, efficient motors, and drives that control elevators, escalators, and heating and cooling systems, as well as thermostats and other building controls that help owners and occupants save energy, money, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Energy efficiency improvements like these support local construction, engineering, and manufacturing jobs. These are good-paying jobs that can't be outsourced. And the money spent on energy upgrades stays in the community. So by investing in energy efficiency, this bill is also helping to bolster Evanston's economy. We've seen other cities do this, and we've seen other cities save energy. NEMA conducted a survey of New York City facility managers and found that as a result of New York's benchmarking ordinance, 77% made a low or no cost improvement to their building, and 75% invested money to actually upgrade the equipment in their building. Studies by MIT and New York University have also confirmed that benchmarking and transparency ordinances save energy. NEMA and its members support this proposed ordinance because it would increase transparency in the real estate market as to the true cost of owning and operating a building. No one would buy a car without first knowing its miles per gallon rating, or a food product without consulting the nutrition facts label, but we do that all the time with buildings. So thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, and on behalf of the National Electrical Manufacturers Association and our local members, I strongly encourage you to pass this ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity today to speak in support of Evanston's proposed energy benchmarking ordinance. My name is Corey Lichtenberger. I work for Schneider Electric US. Schneider Electric is a global leader in energy management and automation, and we appreciate the opportunity to offer a few comments. I applaud the City of Evanston's leadership in driving a discussion about advancing energy transparency and reducing energy waste in buildings. I come here today to voice Schneider Electric's strong support for the proposed benchmarking ordinance. Evanston would become one of the first cities in the state of Illinois to empower building occupants and owners to make better and informed decisions about their residency costs. As is often the case in today's world, information and data empower people to make better and more informed decisions. But with regards to buildings, many people lack the visibility into energy performance and the ongoing costs they will face from operations. Keep in mind, the cost to operate most buildings over the lifespan is as much as 5 times greater than the cost to build the building initially. One of the business services that Schneider Electric provides to our customers are building energy audits. We identify areas of energy waste and also areas of opportunity to save. We typically find that our customers are surprised when exposed to energy data about their building and excited when presented with ideas to improve efficiency and cut their cost. Benchmarking ordinances do expose sometimes ugly energy use data for buildings, and this becomes a critical first step for identifying opportunities for improvement. A benchmarking ordinance could potentially allow purchasers or renters to comparison shop and to make informed decisions. It also allows building owners to understand the current energy performance of their properties relative to others in the community. A benchmarking database can even identify the lowest performing buildings in the city, or allow for a spotlight to be shined on the best performing buildings. Disclosing building energy use has been shown to increase buildings' resale value, rental rates, and occupancy rates. A recent EPA report showed that, on average, buildings that benchmarked energy performance also reduced their energy usage by 7% over 3 years. All Evanston consumers and businesses benefit when we reduce energy waste. Efficient, more productive buildings are more affordable, more reliable, and mitigate the impact of fuel and utility price increases. For these reasons, we strongly encourage Evanston to pass this important energy savings policy. Thank you.
My name is Rich Schur, 1512 Wesley, 40-year resident of Evanston, and I am on the Utilities Commission. And this will be very brief. I've heard some comments that the wording to encourage compliance seems a bit harsh. I spent 5 years as a consultant traveling around the country putting in incentive systems. I assure you, it is not harsh. It is a gentle nudge for the building owners to get some information they may not have that may very well benefit them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have, excuse me, Joel Freeman, John D'Angelo, Jonathan Nussbaum, and Nikolai Chabot. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Joel Freeman. I've been a resident of Evanston for 25 years at 2151 Hartree. I'm here as a citizen, but I've worked at a consulting engineering firm here in Evanston, Grumman Butkus Associates. A lot of our clients over the years have been hospitals, and a little over 20 years ago, we started an energy benchmarking program at no charge. Anybody could participate. We started with about 25 hospitals who participated, went up to 50, and now we average between 90 and 100 in each of our annual surveys. One thing that we found is that once people do this, they want to do it. They want to know where they stand. They want to know whether they should improve, whether they should continue doing what they're doing. And it's been, obviously, in some cases, it's been a way for our firm to acquire some business because we've assembled this information. There are some participants who we have no dealings with whatsoever, except for their voluntary participation in this survey, but they look forward to it every year. And so once they learn what this information contains, they're very motivated afterwards. The other thing I wanted to just touch on briefly was the discussion about the penalty. This follows up on our last comments. You know, the idea of the penalty obviously is not to raise money. It's not a revenue source. This is just a way to dissuade indifference to the ordinance. And so, you know, whatever level it takes to encourage participation, I think is a good thing. So all that to say, I'd like to encourage the City Council to pass this ordinance. I think it's a good thing for Evanston. It's a good thing for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is John D'Angelo, and I am both an Evanston resident, and this evening I'm speaking on behalf of Northwestern University in strong support for this ordinance. Since Northwestern started benchmarking using the EPA's Energy Star program portfolio manager, we've taken 11% savings in our energy usage, which is not an insignificant contribution, since our energy usage is about 80% of our total carbon footprint, our sustainable footprint. It's also a significant cost savings to the university, and we've been tracking well towards our goal of a total of 20% reduction by 2020, to the point where we're looking to go beyond 2020 and continue that reduction. Having the ability to benchmark against yourselves and to compare with peers is really the way that you can move energy savings and sustainability forward with the program. As far as the incentive goes, coming out of two cities that had previously adopted measures similar to this, including previously within New York City, the current wording is far from a penalty. It is, I think, very appropriate as an incentive. So again, thank you for your time, and both myself and Northwestern University is in strong support of this measure. Thank you.
Good evening, Alderman. My name is Jonathan Newsma, appearing tonight as co-chair of the Utilities Commission on behalf of Dick Lanyon, who is on vacation. And I, again, will will stress our strong support for the benchmarking ordinance. Some other folks tonight are speaking to the benefits of the ordinance, but just a couple of points I want to make. Number one, specific to the penalty. Several of you have expressed a concern about the penalty language in the original draft, which imposed a penalty of $50 per day of noncompliance. The draft has been changed, and as currently written, the penalty is now $100 a month, which remains punitive enough to act as an incentive, but it's obviously not a revenue stream. Several folks have mentioned that there are other cities that have done this. Evanston will not be a leader in this case. We are following in the path not only of the city of Chicago, but also Minneapolis and Kansas City, kind of in our Midwest neck of the woods here. San Francisco, Berkeley, Cambridge, Boston, both Washingtons, D.C. and Washington State have benchmarking ordinances in place. So this is something that Evanston needs to do to stay on that map, and we will get additional credit for this towards our Star Community program as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name's Nikolai Skalsbo. I live at 1139 Elmwood. I'm a 35-year resident of the city of Evanston. I'm a board member of Citizens Greener Evanston. Just wanted to speak on behalf of the benchmarking ordinance. This is a logical consequence of the city's earlier commitment to the Mayor's Conference Agreement on climate change, and I believe that this has broad support throughout the community and should be passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have Ms. Leslie Shad, Chuck Wassenberg, Rand Ekin. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Lucia Miller, followed
Thank you
by
so
Noreen
much.
Edwards.
Oops, sorry. Thank you. I'm Leslie Shad. I'm speaking on behalf of Citizens Greener Evanston. I'm its vice president. I'm not going to repeat other comments made, but I want to mention a couple of things in that apart from the penalty, complying is simple, it's low cost, it takes a few minutes a year to enter the data. After that, it's also been mentioned that how is this different from just looking at your energy bill? And of course, you can compare across owners in comparable buildings, so there's a big difference. I also want to mention, Jonathan mention that it will count toward the STAR community rating. It also, it permits smarter city planning. I want to mention that. More strategic, more priorities defined according to actuality, faster progress towards sustainability. So there's a lot of things that are counting for this. And I just also want to mention the robust public engagement on this, that obviously there are a lot of people who have participated and supported. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Chuck Wasserberg. I've been in Evanston for over 20 years. I live at 908 Greenwood Street, and I'm a member of Citizens Greener Evanston as well, and I just want to encourage you strongly to pass this ordinance. I think it's a great thing, and in the interest of letting people leave here before 2 a.m., I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Rand Ekman. I'm also a citizen of Evanston at 1617 Kirk. I am also a past president of the AIA Chicago, so that's one of the hats I'm wearing today, to express the American Institute of Architects' strong support for this ordinance. In my day job, am the chief sustainability officer of a 1,300-person architecture firm. This is something we do a lot of. We are deeply engaged in changing the relationship of energy in the built environment. From the AIA's perspective, we see this as an ordinance that will lead to economic development related to energy assessment, benchmarking, and ultimately building improvements, to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions from building energy consumption, to reduce energy costs for businesses and for the building operations and tenants within those buildings, and to provide energy information for building owners and tenants, driving a marketplace for continuous improvement, which is really what we're all looking for. So again, from the American Institute of Architects, we voice our strong support for this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, do we have Ms. Lucia Miller? Okay. Marie.
So I am not Lucia. I'm Noreen Edwards. I live in Evanston, and I'm on the Evanston Environment Board. And the Evanston Environment Board did recommend this to the City Council. There was a long process in preparation for this ordinance on the Environment Board and in the Utilities Commission, and I don't even know how many other people worked on this ordinance to make it such a great piece of legislation that then you get to vote on now. So I did want to thank staff and other members of the Utility Board or the Evanston Environment Board who couldn't be here tonight, especially Hugh Bartling, who worked on it a long time. And the Utilities Board, I just want to point that out because Evanston has a lot of volunteer boards, and sometimes it feels like no one's listening or like what we do is like dead or doesn't go anywhere. So I just wanted some recognition for that work, and to thank all the people on those boards and the staff that has worked with us too to work on this ordinance. So. And also, all the people that are testifying tonight, it's amazing. Like, all these are volunteers, and it's an amazing thing about Evanston, and indeed even America, that we have all these people. We had the Chinese students from Northwestern at our meeting the other night, and they were so curious about volunteers and what we do. So thank you, City Council, too, for what you do.
Thank you. I guess just a quick comment, Ms. Edwards, because I hope I can speak for everyone behind the dais, that we truly value all of our committees and the wonderful volunteer work that our citizens of Evanston engage in every single day. And so it's very valuable and it's very necessary to the work that we do. So thank you very much. All right. We've had the approval of the minutes. Items for consideration. Alderman Miller, do you want to take item A1 and A2? Moving for introduction.
Move approval of the payroll for July 25th through August 7th in the amount of $3,076,434.14, and the payroll for August 8th, 2016 through August 21st, 2016 in the amount of $2,972,569.64. You do A2 as well?
Sure.
So move approval also of the bills for September 13th, 2016 in the amount of $6,396,887.02, and the credit card activity for the period ending July 31st, 2016 in the amount of $177,732.56.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and introduced. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Before we move forward, you all should have the bills list in front of you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving item A1 and A2, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Alderman Rainey, would you like to take item 3.1?
Mr. Chair, there's the credit card activity also. We should approve that.
I thought he approved both A1 and A2.
Did you do that?
Yeah, any questions? Sorry.
No, but I just think we should approve the amount. Did you do that?
I did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. A 3.1 is purchase of a fleet telematic automatic vehicle locator from Verizon in the amount of $20,000, this is a one-time expense.
Yep.
$20,108,041, and then a monthly recurring expense of $3,164.65 that'll be spread across all the agencies that will be using the locator. And that's about it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions for
It'll
discussion?
allow us to track all sorts of activity.
Right.
Including when a plow, when the shovel is up, when the shovel is down, where accidents occur, et cetera. It's a fascinating
Yeah.
piece of equipment.
We call that Big Brother, Alderman Rainey. Alderman Miller?
It is big.
Quick question. Does this include installation? It seems really cheap. It's a great idea.
Do we have someone from staff available to?
Mr. Chair, I can answer
Sorry,
that
my
question.
microphone's on. I was wondering if this included installation for the cost as well. It seems really cheap. It's a great idea. I was just wondering if there's any cost we don't know about.
The purchase includes installation of 10 units, and then the representatives will show the fleet staff how to install them on the remainder of the city vehicles.
Great.
Okay. Seeing no other lights, all those in favor of passing 3.1, and this is for action, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
A 3.2,
Yes, Alderman Holmes, A 3.2.
five-year single-source contract with North Shore Towing for towing and other related services. The annual estimated expenses is $45,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Nguyen. It's been properly moved and seconded. Seeing no lights, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Are they present tonight?
Yes, there's someone here.
Are they?
Yeah.
I think we ought to acknowledge, I mean, what other company has been with us longer than I've been here? I mean, I just,
We would have to do a lot of digging. We would have to do a lot of digging. That's true.
I mean, 30, how many years have you been here? 79. No. 32 years with the city of Evanston, yeah. I mean, that's really a long time. That's a special thing. Thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
All right. Alderman Nguyen, would you like to take item 3.3?
This is a contact with SunGuard Public Sector for purchase of an arrest and citation application. The staff recommends the City Council authorize the city manager to execute a contract for the purchase of an arrest and citation application from SunGuard Public Sector. The application's installation and training on its usage will cost $30,270. The cost of the application will be covered by budgetary savings in a particular account. This is for action. I move approval.
Is there a second? Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Straightforward. All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.4, Alderman Miller.
Move approval of agreements with the Owens Group Incorporated and Arthur J. Gallagher & Co. for insurance brokerage services at a total cost of $43,000 per year for the next 3 years.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. I just have one quick question for staff. Are you answering this? You'll take it? Hold on one second. Let me. So how did we come to the conclusion, how did you divide up who was awarded what? So it looks like Owens Group, they received the excess workers in crime, and then general liability property went to Arthur Gallagher. Was that based on price, expertise? Hey.
I can field that question, Chairman Braithwaite, members of the committee, Grant for our Corporation Counsel. With respect to the evaluation process of the two brokers, what we did is we had meetings for a couple of hours with each broker, and what we tried to do is explore their claims history and handling portfolio and match them up. And one of the things that struck us about the Owens Group and was attractive about their proposal was in terms of the workers' compensation. They seem to have a strong core competency there. With respect to the Gallagher, on the excess liability and the property insurance, they, I think, are the second largest brokerage firm in the world. And what we fully expect and anticipate them to do is to use that market presence to leverage the cost of coverage to the city downwards. So, and that's actually a strategy that worked well with the current incumbent, and we fully expect and will demand continues with Gallagher if they are awarded that contract.
Great. Any other questions? All those in favor of approving item A3.4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. A3.5, Alderman Rainey.
Yes. Approval of a contract is requested with GE Ridderford Company for the James Park Fieldhouse roofing and siding replacement. I think this also includes some painting and interior work in the amount of $49,473.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Just to point out to
Please.
everybody, this is a little teeny building, and we're going to be talking about Harley Clark in a little while. And this is a little teeny shed, and it costs $49,000
Right.
to put a little roof on and a little
Right.
siding on a little teeny shed.
Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Item 3.6, Alderman Holmes.
A3.6, purchase of a riding mower from Riendas Incorporated. It's a Toro Groundmaster riding mower in the amount of $22,983.92. Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions? Comments? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes. Item A4, Alderman Nguyen.
Yes, item A4 is ordinance 33016, amending City Code Title 4 to add Chapter 22, Building Energy and Water Use Benchmarking Ordinance. City staff recommends that we introduce the Building Energy and Water Use Benchmarking Ordinance. Included in this is the revised ordinance section 42211, reducing the penalty amount to $100 for each offense per month. I move introduction.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments? I'll go ahead and comment then. And first of all, just thank you to all the people who showed up, as well as staff that put a lot of work into this ordinance. 2 weeks ago, I wasn't here for the second round of conversations, but I was for the original. And I voiced my concerns then, and it's the same concern that I have. I think that this is a wonderful program. I think it will do wonderful things in terms of the city of Evanston. The only concern that I voiced, and I am glad to see that there was an adjustment made on the penalty, but I still, on behalf of the businesses, I think this is a great thing. I think Alderman Rainey made the comments at the last meeting that I attended that most businesses, just purely financial, are incentivized to find more effective ways to reduce their costs. But again, I have a serious, concern with the $100 penalty. And so it is just for introduction. I'll make that point, and then when it comes up for action, we can discuss it more if people feel the same way that I do. Alderman Rainey?
Well, one of the things that I found interesting is that several owners who came at our last meeting, I discovered have properties in Chicago and are familiar with the process.
Yes.
And know how to do this and have software and systems in place. And so to complain about doing it in Evanston when they're already doing it in Chicago and may also be doing it here,
Right.
I thought was a little disingenuous. So I think given the offers that are being made for free tutoring and workshops, et cetera, you can actually save money doing this. And I think
Absolutely.
it's a wonderful opportunity. And I'm becoming more and more convinced that not only isn't it burdensome, but it's helpful.
I agree.
And it will reduce the carbon footprint. And we always resist things that are new to us. And I think there's an indication by their absence tonight that perhaps something has come to them that makes them more accepting of this. So let's see what happens at our next meeting, and perhaps maybe we'll get some calls in the meantime, or we'll make some calls and
Sure.
find out. So I'm supporting it as of now. I haven't any reason not to.
Thank you. Alderman Holmes?
Yeah, I was really surprised that we didn't have them back this time because they were so adamant the last time in terms of the business community. So I think maybe, Alderman Ron, you might be on the right track with that. So as of now, I would have to give my support to it as well.
Perfect. All those in favor of introducing item A4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item A5, Alderman Miller, for introduction.
A5 has been requested to be held by Alderman Ravel, so move on to A6.
Okay. Item A6.
Okay. Move approval of Ordinance 120-0-16, which is for the sale of vehicles owned by the city through public auction at the Special Northwest Municipal Vehicle Auction on or around Tuesday, October 25th, 2016, or any other subsequent auction.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, A6 is passed for introduction. Item A7.
A7, Ordinance 18-016, amending the City Code, Section 346, by creating the new Class P4 liquor license. This is a license that creates a craft, I want to get this exactly right, a craft wineries, allowing for the sale of wine for exclusive off-site consumption. This is specifically for the sale of, we have craft breweries, but we have no license that allows for craft wine making. And we have North Shore Cider Company, which makes wine, which is not created in the same way beer is brewed. So we have to create a winery license, and that's what this is. So I move approval.
Second.
All right, it's been
I'm sure
moved
that's
in.
as clear as mine, but that's what it is.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? The group here? Did you want to?
How did I do?
Okay. Perfect. All right. This is for introduction. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Item A8.
A8, Ordinance 111-0-16, decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Cooney's Japanese Restaurant, located at 511A Main Street. There's no longer a tenant there, and it was sold to a new corporate entity. So,
Do you want to suspend the rules
I
on
would
this? and
suggest
just
that
get
we
it done in
suspend
one
the
reading?
rules in one meeting, right?
Yes, I suggest we suspend
Suspend
the
the
rules.
rules, just get it over with.
And for this one and for A9.
Oh,
And could you do the second one also?
yeah. Let's take the motion, and then we'll hear. It would have been great.
Okay, but there is a tenant there right now.
No, wait, it's just the
Yeah.
legal wording. Don't
Yeah.
worry, don't worry.
Okay.
And then there's the second one that
Is
is. Yeah,
A9,
that
which is
adds to it.
ordinance 1112-0-16, increasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for the Cooney's Japanese Restaurant, located again at 511A Main Street.
Okay.
So,
It's been properly moved and seconded, and so do we have a question from, or comments from the committee, and then we'll hear the comments. Alderman Rainey?
Well, this is a license that is being terminated by one party that owns the restaurant.
Right.
And it's being purchased by another party that has been at the restaurant for 11 years. And so there's going to be no change in the restaurant at all,
Right.
but the law says you have to
hand over
do a
the-
new license.
Okay.
So it's crazy, and it looks weird. And when I told somebody about this thing, oh my God, that's my favorite restaurant. And I said, no, don't worry. But they're perfectly welcome to speak, right, Mr. Chairman?
Would you like to, are you clear on what we're doing, or would you like to make a comment?
No, that's fine.
You're clear? Okay. With that being said,
But I guess we'll.
if you're going to say something,
to the
please
mic.
come to the mic. Thank you. And tell us your name.
Bridget Clark Castrohon, I'm the lawyer for Cooney's Restaurant.
Okay.
And I just want to clarify that that old license will not end until the new license begins.
Our attorney will tell.
Ms. Farrar.
Thank you.
All right.
so then we shouldn't,
So can we suspend the rules and,
If the committee were inclined to suspend the rules, it should be for both ordinances, so it can be seamless.
right, okay.
so Alderman Holmes, would you like to,
Whose board is
I
doing it?
can't even remember.
whose word is it?
It's in my ward, yes.
You want to do for both?
Yes. I would.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I would move suspension of the rules for both A8 and A9. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
got that?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. We're going to suspend the rules for item A8 and A9, so it's for introduction and action this evening. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Item A10, Alderman Nguyen.
Yes, this is ordinance 113-016, increasing the number of Class R liquor licenses for Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management. The local liquor commissioner recommends we adopt this ordinance, increasing the number of authorized Class R liquor licenses from 2 to 3 and permit issuance of a Class R license to Northwestern, doing business as Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management. This is for introduction.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item A11, and this is for Alderman Tandem requests that the suspension of the rules for introduction and action by City Council for this evening. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Move to suspend the rules for introduction and action. It's ordinance 114-016, which is to increase the number of authorized Class D liquor license from 54 to 55 and permit issuance of a license to Old Neighborhood Grill.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Are there any items for discussion? Staff? Seeing none, any communications? Alderman Rainey?
Mr. Chair, on the matter of Cooney,
Cooney?
Has the ownership changed, so there's no problem with the license? I just don't want us to do
The sale will go through as soon as the liquor license is approved.
So we're cool doing this, right? Yeah.
That helps.
So that would help.
Okay. Perfect. All right. If there aren't any more communications, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. The meeting is adjourned. The next, our plan and development meeting will start at
7:15.
7?
15.
At 7:15. Thank you.